Hey babes. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I woke up with a very sore throat, but we're gonna get through this day anyways. My mama leaves today, so I am gonna be spending some time with her after this. But this is a new party goer's statement to YouTube, okay? And I feel like she knows way more than what she's saying. And I just want to go over it with you to tell you what I got from her words, okay? All right, here we go.
Severely intoxicated. Didn't ever see her with Sammy. I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident. She was severely intoxicated. Didn't ever see her with Sammy. She did mention having arrived.
So again, she's not just intoxicated like the rest of the people. She is severely intoxicated. And not one time do I hear anybody else mentioning somebody else being severely intoxicated. Intoxicated. And if I do hear about it, I guarantee you it's gonna be after my video. Okay, here we go.
Party goers are the key to determine what happened.
Over 200 people were at the party, and this is the second party goer that has come forward to tell me their side of the story. Let's name this second party goer JONEDOE2. My deepest condolences to Kylie's family and friends. Due to privacy reasons, their voice has been altered, and their name will remain anonymous.
There were around 200 people. It's not very usual to see this at a party, especially at Sanctuary, because the road is so rough. People hate partying out there. I never saw anyone sketchy show.
People hate partying out there, but they party out there all the time. Okay, lie one.
I never noticed anyone sketchy while I was there. I definitely never.
Okay. So she didn't see nobody sketchy there. So what she's saying Mags and Sammy said would be considered a lie, right? She's saying she never saw Jagger there. How could you see anybody there if there was 200 to 300 people, right? You're not going to go and see all of the people, right? When you go to a club with like 200 people, you only see about 50 of them, correct? All right, let's go.
Never saw Jagger there. I don't think he was there at all.
At all. you don't know for sure. Because there's no way you encountered 200 people. Every single person. It's impossible. Okay.
Spoke to Kylie. She was intoxicated, but she seemed happy. There was nobody there in that club.
When I'm intoxicated, I'm not happy. Just so you know. I feel like I need to sit down. I overdid it. Stuff like that. That I don't see somebody being severely intoxicated but being happy. It don't make sense. Keep going.
They would have frozen so badly. It was raining all day that day. It was cold out. I do believe she was intoxicated before 11. The girl day, it was cold out.
I'm trying to go back just a little bit. Hold on.
I don't know. They would have frozen so badly. It was raining all day that day. It was cold out. I don't know about the shrooms. I don't smoke or trip.
She don't know about the shrooms. I didn't know about the shrooms until you mentioned it. I don't understand how it came up. What do you mean you don't know about the shrooms? Was that a question asked? Because, like, I don't hear somebody else asking any questions. So where did the shrooms actually even come in at? If you don't know about it, I didn't know about it. If I don't know about something, I'm not going to talk about something. So where did that come from? Okay, that's all right.
Trip on substances, so I don't really look for them. I do believe she was intoxicated before 11. The girls in the black and...
Told you. That was my first channeling reading. But how are you severely intoxicated within a half hour? Don't make sense.
white photo were in Reno, not Prosser, and I know this for sure because I am friends with the one that took the photo. I
We knew that was debunked. I just feel like there's something off about this caller, but it's okay. We'll figure it out.
don't know about Sammy and Kylie's relationship. I never saw Kylie fight anyone, but the fight that was on video was a playful fight. I know those boys. I didn't see Kylie drink or smoke, but she did smell strongly of alcohol and was having a hard time walking straight, and her speaking was slow.
So if everybody sees this, why couldn't they come together and get her home safely? Like, oh man. So you're saying, yes, I saw her. She couldn't walk straight. She was slurring her words. She was severely intoxicated. But you didn't think to call her an Uber or something? Or find somebody that's not drunk and say, hey, can you be a designated driver for her as well? Like, okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
I don't believe in a drunk accident. Honestly, Sanctuary Road can be impossible to drive on, especially with how intoxicated she seemed when I talked to her. Just a week before, a kid had hide-centered his truck on the road, so it's not an easy one to navigate, like even sober. And I don't know anything going on between Kate and Jagger. I tend to stay.
So either this person's following the case, like every single video out there. You know, that's what it sounds like. Because watch, I'm going to catch her in a few, let's just say, misconceptions. Okay? Hold on, I'm going to pause. I'm going to make some coffee real quick. Okay.
Out of people's personal relationships just because it isn't my business. I had personally seen Kylie around that night, but I also didn't ever see her with Sammy. And Sammy...
Well, if somebody ain't trying to cover somebody's ass. Sammy literally admitted herself she was with her all night. But this person saying, oh no, I didn't see her with Sammy. No. And Sammy didn't even host the party. No. Okay. It's funny because Sammy seems to take charge of everything. So even if she didn't host it, she still hosted it. Because she takes charge of everything she's into. And that's what I've seen thus far about Sammy.
He didn't even actually host the party. It was 3 boys from the area, one from Incline, one North Town, one Truckee, and...
Funny how she knows all the locations of people. But let's keep going, because I think these 3 guys come up again.
The Truckee boy actually had work that night, so I don't think he was there. I never ended up seeing him. I'm from Truckee, I know this...
Again, you're not sure if somebody was there. I don't think he was there because I didn't see him. But if there's 200 to 300 people, you're not going to see everybody.
Quite well, but I don't remember seeing him. When I spoke to Kylie that night, she was severely intoxicated, like she had been stuck.
So why wouldn't you take it upon yourself, because you weren't slurring your words and you weren't stumbling around and you were aware enough to know that she was severely intoxicated, why wouldn't you get her help home? You allowed a minor, after you noticed that she was severely intoxicated, to go on about her business, as if she could handle her business. Okay, let's keep going. Sure, Bob.
Stumbling, her speech was slurring, but I also don't know her well, so I don't know her normal behavior. I'd only seen her around and maybe spoken to her once or twice at things like parties. Other than that, I never really saw her. She did go to a different school than me.
She was homeschooled. What are you even talking about? Oh, God. Okay, let's keep going.
She did mention having a ride, but she was alone and it was dark when I talked to her. People have...
She mentioned having a ride. See, it's the wording for me. But it was dark. Okay, what does that have to do with a ride? Because 10:30, it's dark. 9 o'clock, it's dark. What does that mean? It's all about the wordplay. Let's go back just a little bit.
She did go to a different school than me. She did mention having a ride, but she was alone and it was dark when I talked to her.
Of course, it was dark. And I don't buy that she was alone. I don't. 300 people, but Kylie's alone. Okay, keep going.
People have also commented about kids not seeing things, and the moon was bright that night, but Sanctuary is under trees, and I had a hard time.
Yeah, this part is going to come back up. So, just remember about the seeing things and how people had hard time seeing things. Okay.
Seeing, because the generator that was running the lights had turned off or gone home earlier, so I personally couldn't see very much. That night, people began to
So you couldn't see very much, but you knew that Jagger wasn't there, right? But you couldn't see very much. Okay.
Around 9. It was a small group of people that I knew. I wasn't close with any of them, but I knew them, so I was happy they came. And I felt comfortable around them. Around 10, a huge group of people showed up. A friend of mine...
So wait, you're telling me Kylie was severely intoxicated and she didn't even get to the party yet? Because didn't Kylie show up around 10:30? Huh? Oh, wow. That's different. Let's keep going.
Mine was leading them. She said, I don't know any of these kids, but they were all down on the road by the intersection because they had no clue where to go. So I led them to the right place. My guess is that these kids must have not been from Truckee, and they were from the Tahoe region, around Incline mostly, and maybe some North Tahoe kids, because most Truckee and a lot of North Tahoe kids know where Sanctuary is because it is a popular spot for us.
But they don't like going there. Remember, she said in the beginning, yeah, but nobody actually likes going to Sanctuary, but we party there all the time. Okay.
I noticed that a lot of people have commented that there aren't many photos and videos from that night, and it's true. A lot of kids up here don't spend their time on their phones at parties.
Remember that part. Because I know when I was younger, not now, but when I was younger, 19, 20, 21, and I would go to clubs, I didn't hold my phone in my hand. I had fun, partying, dancing, right? Excuse me. So just remember, out of her own mouth, JONEDOE2. Let's go back just a little bit. There was no... Hold on, here we go.
Spot for us. I noticed that a lot of people have commented that there aren't many photos and videos from that night, and it's true. A lot of kids up here...
It's true. Uh-huh.
...don't spend their time on their phones at parties.
Okay, you heard it out her mouth, right? Great.
I personally never noticed a whole lot of kids on their phones other than when people were like taking B-reels or just taking random pictures. But most of the time it's like 0.5s of their friends' faces, like funny stuff like that. Not anything like crazy that actually shows the party. Like I know I personally don't take pictures of parties in general. Around 10:30 there were glow sticks all over the...
So she knows what happened at 10 o'clock. She knows what happens at 10:30.
ground. That was one thing that I noticed because a boy had brought them earlier in the night and people were like putting them on, all this stuff, but they had started to fall off people. The glow sticks I had fell off. So I was putting them in bottles and like setting the bottles places. A lot of kids...
Maybe like fingerprints. That's why she spoke about it. Okay.
Also started to pick up the glow sticks and throw them at each other, which was making some people really mad. There's also been a lot of talk about the fight that was shown on the news pictures from that night. You can see in the picture I'm going to send you of the invitation that was sent out that night, the background of it is a picture of a fight from earlier this year at a party, because they're very common up here.
While they all have their phones out. Okay.
People always bring boxing gloves to parties, and friends box each other for fun, but it's always friends. Like, there's never any ill intention.
For fun, he just knocked him out like a total KO. There's no altercations. There's no intentions or ill wills in these matches. He was just KO'd. Okay, do you want to see that again? Here, look. Listen to her words and watch the fight.
Earlier this year at a party, because they're very common up here. People always bring boxing gloves to parties, and friends box each other for fun, but
Kicked
it's
them,
always friends.
punched
like,
them.
There's never any ill intention.
That wasn't an ill intention. Just kicking him in the face and then punching him in the face, that's not ill intention. Okay.
In these matches, there are always kids mediating these box fights and are there to break them up if they need to, and there's always the biggest rule during these is
That almost looked like a girl, but anyways.
you're not allowed to hit the other person in the head or the face, just because
That dude kicked dude in the face and punched him in the face. What are you talking about?
we don't actually want anyone getting injured. Like,
Now, granted, this is March, but you say you do this at every party. Well, what happened to that party? Okay.
I've personally been in a boxing match with a friend just for fun, and
With the friend, just for fun. Okay.
I didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun. At
I didn't want to hurt her just for fun. Oh, tell me more. Tell me more, really?
12:30, the crowd had shrunk a lot.
Oh, now she knows it's 12:30. Huh?
I didn't know almost anyone there other than, like, a couple friends and my ride home. And a boy had pulled his car.
So how is it that you can tell me hour by hour, half hour by half hour of what went on in this party, but everybody's supposed to be drunk and nobody's looking at their phones? How do you know, oh, look, it's 10 o'clock, this is happening? Oh, something else is happening during the party. Oh, let me look at my phone. Okay, that's 11 o'clock. Okay. Ooh, something else is happening. Look, time. Oh, now it's 12:30. See what I'm trying to get to? That don't make sense. You have a whole timeline that's not even a little bit fuzzy to you. It don't make sense to me. When I go to a party, I'm not worried about the time and what happens at 10 o'clock, what happens at 10:30, what happens at 11 o'clock, what happens at 12 o'clock, what happens at 12:30. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's something off about this person. Whether either they weren't there or they were there and they're putting extra information out to try to cover. Like, I never saw Kylie with Sammy. It don't make sense. Keep going.
Onto the dirt road, like the main road to get in and out of Sanctuary, and there were boys yelling and screaming at each other, like in an aggressive way, not like a fun way, next to the car. So pretty much anyone that was there anymore had crowded around that car because they were trying to see if they were going to fight, if they needed to break something up. But one ended up climbing on top of the car and standing on top of it, while the other one got in and started playing music from it. There was a subwoofer in the back of the car, and all the doors were open so you could hear it, because there wasn't any music playing at that point. People were angry because there wasn't any music. Because that road was blocked.
So you just said there was a real argument, an aggressive argument. You're saying that people were angry. Huh? Okay. All right. I think we're about to get into the good stuff.
By the car, no one could have driven in the direction of the Y intersection unless they had parked down there, which personally I didn't see anyone leaving at that point. And
So nobody could get past that little X right there. She's saying unless they parked down there. But she didn't see anybody leaving at 12:30. as didn't Sammy say everybody left at 12:30? Wasn't Kylie's last ping at 12:33? Didn't Kylie telepathically call Sammy at 12:36 on her phone? All right, hold on. I'm going to pause you. Fill up my cup. Coffee's ready. Okay, sorry about that.
And because I didn't really know anyone there anymore, I had asked my ride to take me home because I just felt kind of uneasy.
At 12:30. Did you catch that? We'll go back just a little bit more.
Climbing on top of the car and standing on top of it while the other one got in and started playing music from it. There was a subwoofer in the back of the car and all the doors were open so you could hear it because there wasn't any music playing at that point. People were angry because there wasn't any music. Because that road was blocked by the car, no one could have driven in the direction of the Y intersection unless they had parked down there.
I'm sorry. I want to... All right, what is that? 7:40. She literally says the time, because we just spoke about it. Well, I don't see it now. Yeah, 12:30. At 12:30, the crowd had shrunk a lot. How do you know what time it is? Like, when I'm at a party, I am not worried about the time until they say, hey, we're closing. You know what I'm saying? She knew 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12:30.
The crowd had shrunk a lot. I didn't know almost anyone there other than, like, a couple friends and my ride home. And a boy had pulled his car onto the dirt road, like the main road to get in and out of Sanctuary, and there were boys yelling and screaming at each other, like in an aggressive way, not like a fun way, next to the car. So pretty much anyone that was there anymore had crowded around that car because they were trying to see if they were...
You know, that sounds real similar to part 1 of my channeling session. That sounds very similar to part 1 of my channeling session. Hold on.
Gonna fight if they needed to break something up. But one ended up climbing on top of the car and standing on top of it while the other one got in and started playing music from it.
Sorry, my baby called me.
And all the doors were open so you could hear it. Because there wasn't any music playing at that point. People were angry because there wasn't any music. Because that road was blocked by the car, no one could have driven in the direction of the Y intersection unless they...
The Y intersection is towards where Kylie was found. See, if you get to the Y and then you go left, that would be where Kylie was found. In my second channeling session, I told you her car was parked basically right at that left turn from the Y, right at the tree line. That's what I saw. Here we go.
They had parked down there, which personally I didn't see anyone leaving at that point.
I don't believe anybody was parked down there because of what she says. But let's keep going.
And because I didn't really know anyone there anymore, I had asked my ride to...
But, wait. So you couldn't get down to there, but she thinks everybody parked down there. But you couldn't see. So how would you know that? Why would you say that? Okay.
Take me home because I just felt kind of uneasy being there without people I knew. So I left. My ride...
That was 12:30. She's talking about 12:30. She didn't give us a new timeline. 12:30. Okay.
They had parked their car all the way back on the paved road, so we had to walk all the way down the dirt road to get back.
Sounds like my ending of my first reading and my second reading, the beginning. But again, she parked the opposite way from where Kylie was found. Sorry. So how would you know if anybody was parked down there if you can't see down there? Ding, ding, ding.
While we were walking, there was a group of boys walking in the same direction as us, and my ride knew them. I can't remember why he knew them, but...
3 boys again. Remember the beginning it was 3 boys. Now 3 boys again.
Maybe school or something, because my ride went to a different school than me. And at the Y intersection, my ride and I went left of the car, and the boys went right.
Now this is a different Y intersection. This is a Y intersection when you come out of the campground. Okay?
They parked that way. Though a lot of kids had parked over by the water over there, and I'm guessing they were part of the big group of kids who showed up.
But I call BS because if everybody was parked down there, they would have seen Kylie go in down there. Correct? Unless it was a few weeks later.
Earlier in the night that didn't know where they were going, so they parked down there and walked up when my friend walked up when she showed them how.
So again, if there was cars down there, all these cars parked there, how did Kylie not hit any of their cars? How did Kylie not hit any of those trees? How did Kylie not go off that little paved road? And how did nobody... And why wouldn't Kylie just jump out her car once she noticed that she couldn't stop it? If she could possibly get out of a seatbelt and jump all the way to the back of the truck, why wouldn't she get out the seatbelt and just jump out the fucking car before it hit the water? Because obviously you knew you were going down that road because it's so freaking bumpy. You can't drive on it like that. None of it makes sense because I feel it didn't happen this way.
At the actual sanctuary. So yeah, a lot of cars were actually parked up at Sanctuary because...
Exactly.
It's really common
Because that's where Kylie was parked first. Before she was drugged and severely intoxicated, that's where she was parked first.
to camp out at these parties, especially if they don't have DDs and they don't want to drive home intoxicated. They'll camp there instead and drive home in the morning when they're sober. So that's where a lot of the cars were. I reached my ride's car.
So she just said a lot of the cars were down at the water, but now she says a lot of the cars were at the sanctuary. But if that's the case, they would have seen her driving erratically going into the water. Because again, it's probably about 12:45 by now. According to her timeline. Oh, look, 1 a.m. now. Okay. So how do you know? You see, this is what I'm getting at. How do you have this perfect timeline? How? If everybody's drinking, how do you have this perfect ass timeline? Who goes to a party just to go to a party? Like, I never went to parties, but I went to clubs. So if I went to a club, of course I'm having a drink, right? I don't do clubs no more, obviously. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. And why did she mention shrooms? That's so weird to me. Did somebody ask her that question? Because I don't hear nobody asking questions. I just hear her talking. So, okay, whatever. Keep going.
Morning, back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my way.
So there was no mass leaving at 12:30 nor 1 o'clock. Let's go back just a little bit because I feel like I missed a part.
My friend walked up and showed them how, but most of the cars were at the actual sanctuary. So yeah, a lot of cars were actually parked up at Sanctuary because it's really common for kids to camp out at these
Oh, man.
parties, especially if they don't have DDs and they don't want to drive home intoxicated. They'll camp there instead and drive home in the morning. that's where a lot of
But who allows a severely intoxicated minor to camp there to sleep it off? It don't make sense. And I feel like this person talks to Sammy. I do. I never seen her chilling with Sammy. A lot of kids sleep there at night. She's severely intoxicated. She couldn't walk. But you couldn't help her either? Oh, she's severely intoxicated. Couldn't walk. Was slurring her words. But she was happy. What? I'm sorry, but once I reached or used to reach the point of intoxication, I just want to vomit to get it out of me so I don't feel that way anymore. You understand? I'm not happy. Let's keep going.
the cars were. I reached my ride's car around 1 in the morning, back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride. No head.
So there was no cars. There was no mass leaving at 12:30 because they were already basically, on their way to the car, and they saw a little aggressive fight happening. But there's no mass leaving at 12:30. And if she says she sees Kylie after this, I'm calling BS 100%. Because Kylie's phone stopped pinging at 12:33. So already, I feel something already happened to Kylie where her phone can't ping anymore because there was not a phone call at 12:36, as Sammy says.
Headlights, nothing.
This is where Kylie's car was parked. According to JONEDOE2, she says that no cars had left between 12:30 and 1 a.m.
Boom.
I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride.
So there was no mass leaving. And supposedly, I told you Kylie's car was parked up there at first. I seen it. I seen that already in my first channeling session. None of this makes sense, and I know why, because people are lying.
No headlights, nothing.
According to JONEDOE2, there was a blockage at the Y intersection,
Yep.
which would have prevented Kylie from exiting the party. Remember at 12:36 when Sammy said Kylie had called her?
She was meant to be my ride home, but I knew she was too intoxicated to get me home. So I said, hey, I found another.
So why wouldn't you try to get her home since she was so intoxicated and you're speaking as if you were not intoxicated? Never once did I hear her say I was so intoxicated. I think she said it's a little blurry, a little fuzzy, but she recalled everything. Okay.
Another ride home, I hope you stay safe,
Sammy had already left in the background of her phone.
I hope you stay safe. For my babes, for the people that I spiritually advise, we already know we don't use those words because it stops everything in the track. That's a real curse word. Ugh, this is just so evil.
Phone call with Kylie. She said she heard voices from the party, suggesting that Kylie was not in a car yet, but still at the parking.
But we know that's a lie because the officer said her phone shut off at 12:33. They're all lying. All of them.
All of this suggests that perhaps Kylie was alive at 1 a.m.
This interview told us a few things that we didn't know. One, it told us that she told somebody at that party, she told Jane Doe. Two, that she had a ride. And then we also learned from Jane Doe 2 that she was alive at 1 a.m., much further.
I highly disagree that she was alive at 1 a.m. because if she was sitting there running back and forth to her car with Sammy charging her phone wouldn't have just died. She's not taking pictures. She's not on the phone with anybody. She's not on Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, Be Real or... It's not true. I'm telling you. How... Oh my God. Keep going.
surpassed the time that many of us thought she was already at the bottom of that lake.
Is it possible that maybe someone offered Kylie a ride in her own car because she was too intoxicated to
Yeah, Sammy.
drive herself?
Odd for me to hear that she stated she had a ride, which leaves me to question who was her ride. You know, we know Sammy got another ride by somebody. Was she?
We don't know that for sure. Because remember, Sammy's done slipped up so many times, talking about she was driving. I was in the passenger seat. I was in the ride car and Come on. None of this makes sense. None of it. I believe when that phone was off, it was intentionally turned off. I don't think anybody saw her after 1 a.m. I believe if she would have went in that water that night, all the people that were parked down there, they all parked down there, but they all parked at the sanctuary. So which one did they all park at? So if they're all parked down there, they would have seen Kylie. Somebody would have seen Kylie. Somebody would have seen Kylie. You seen an erratic person driving on these bumpy roads that everybody knows about. You can't drive on it. It would get the attention of everybody.
She's supposed to go with Sammy, and Sammy actually literally left her? Or, you know, was she just trying to blow her off so she didn't know? Because it seems to me like if she was that intoxicated and didn't have a ride and she was planning on sleeping there and sleeping it off, you would think that that would have been her response, not that I...
So you're telling me Kylie's the only one that decided to stay there? If it's so common for people just to camp out there and just stay the night, you know, until they sober up because they don't have DDs, why would she be the only one? Why would she be the only one that can't walk, can't talk? Why? Y'all hiding shit, that's why. I know what you're hiding too.
I have a ride and then walk in the direction of the cars.
Something that stuck out to me was when Jane Doe number 2 mentioned her suspicions on this not being a drunk car accident.
I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident. Sanctuary Road can be impossible to drive on, especially with how intoxicated she seemed when I talked to her.
And then I went to a photo that kind of had where the car came out and kind of went right into the water, and I looked at that and I was wondering, did that look natural or did it look like something more intentional? And quite frankly, I can't tell you one way or the other whether it was
Okay, so if you look up there, I believe that's where that fork in the road is, right? So she would have to make a hard left. She would have, if all these people are parked down there, because there was no mass leaving at 12:30 according to Jane Doe 2, everybody would have seen her drive down there. And supposedly at 12:36, Kylie was already getting ready to leave. Well, Jane Doe 2 was there still at 1 o'clock. Somebody would have seen her.
intentional or unintentional.
Something I am curious about is, at what time did the blockage at the Y intersection disperse? Kylie's car was only found 300 yards away from the party. The main parking was at the sanctuary, but scattered about, people had parked their cars. It just seems suspicious.
Of course.
How did no one see anything or hear anything?
What I find very bizarre is that there was 200 to 300 people at that party, and none of them.
And she didn't mention the mass leaving. In fact, she said they were all still there blocking the roads up. They all lying. All of them. They're all covering something. Now, why would Jane Doe even speak her piece? Oh, jeez. I'm getting aggravated. I'm just aggravated with these people. Why would you come on to speak your piece and the first things you say are, I never seen her with Sammy. And, oh my God, she was so severely intoxicated. Yet you didn't help her because she said she had a ride. Did you see the ride? Did you help her to the ride? You knew she was a minor. You knew she was intoxicated. Severely intoxicated. But nobody else was severely intoxicated? Just like Kanika. Kanika was so intoxicated. She was stumbling around. She couldn't stand up. She's tripping over things. But everybody that went to look for her were walking straight, in a straight line, with their shoulders up and their head up, and nobody's tripping and tumbling and stumbling. Because there's more than just an alcohol in both of their systems. Both. You don't just get one person that's so severely intoxicated, but nobody else is. No, she didn't mention one other person stumbling, and if they come out with the video after this, I'm gonna call bullshit too. Talk about, I was stumbling and my friend was stumbling. I don't want to hear that shit. You should have said that before. You should have said that before I pointed that shit out. No, I'm not gonna accept that. You understand? Oh, I get so aggravated because this is a baby. Literally a baby. 16? That's a baby. Come on. I hate people. This is too much. Oh my God.
Have come forward to talk about what they
There's
see.
the cops. Oh my God. Did you see him? Oh, that put chills down my spine. Oh.
From the party.
Sorry, I went back. I wanted to see that again.
But scattered about, people had parked their cars. It just seems suspicious.
Absolutely.
How did no one see anything or hear anything?
Especially
What I find very bizarre is
if there was no mass leaving at 12:30 like everybody else claimed.
that there was 200 to 300 people at that party, and none of them have come forward to
Look.
talk about.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm trying to read the people by their legs. Oh my God. I'm just trying to read the picture. Hold on. Somebody sitting down, I believe, has the goods, shall we say. One of those people sitting down. It's not the one standing up. They're happy that the people that are sitting down has the goods. Oh my God. I can't see their faces, so it's a little hard to tell, but oh my God.
What they seen, what they heard, what they think happened to her, because there's a lot of speculation that is still unknown. And that's what baffles me. There's so many eyes and ears there, yet no one is forward saying anything. We don't know what happened late at that night into that early morning. We truly don't know. And I think these...
Well, by all the stories, I could tell you, this is one of the most bogus ones besides Sammy's and Mag's, because it was very contradicting. How do you know the entirety of the timeline? Oh, this happened at 10 o'clock, and this happened at 11:30, and this happened at 12, and this happened at 12:30, and this happened at 1. How do you know that? Were you taking notes? What the hell? Because, okay, for instance, I shouldn't get into this now. All right, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Come on. It's about Kylie.
Partygoers are the key to determine what happened.
Kylie's car was not very far away from this party. So many unanswered questions.
It's starting to make this whole tow truck guy more real, his story more real, in my opinion, which...
I always believe the tow truck guy on one factor, on AWP. I trust them, and I know they are not clout chasers, as Jagger says. Effing clout chasers. I know they're not. I've been following them before Kylie went missing. And these are really good people, and they are here to truly help families, okay? So I stand with them. If they say this dude is legit, I believe that that dude is legit. And it's okay that he didn't know what day it was, because right now, I don't know what day it is. I think it's Tuesday. But I can't be sure because I ain't look yet. You understand? So every day to me feels the same. Even the weekend, it feels the same. So I get the messing up the days, but that's what's up about, that's good. That's what's good about it, is that his girlfriend, he called his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was able to verify what day it was. So that was cool. So again, I totally trust AWP.
Many people know it was the one piece of the puzzle I was putting together that didn't fit, but this interview has given me a little more clarity. That it's potential that he really did see her car at a different location.
A beautiful, talented, and intelligent soul whose life
Oh,
was taken
stop
too
it.
soon. If you saw some.
Oh, she's so precious. I just don't understand. Like, this isn't Kylie's first party where she's drinking and stuff. And I just don't understand as a mother how you can be okay with that. She obviously, I could feel she has sadness. There's probably a little bit of depression within her. And just knowing that would even more make me not want my child to go to these types of parties. You know, come on. What is happening? I don't recognize, guys, I truly, truly don't recognize this earth anymore. Remember everybody was like, oh, we're going to go through a portal. The world's going to be over when CERN turned that thing on a couple months ago. And I was like, no, guys, what's going to happen is the bad are going to get worse. The good will only see the bad getting worse. So if, let's say, when they turned that CERN thing on, if I was a bad person before they turned it on, I'm only going to get worse. Thank God I'm not a bad person. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, Jesus. Let's end this video.
Please say something.
All right. The end. Oh my God. This is a lot. I don't buy this. I don't buy it. It's just too many discrepancies. You have a whole sketched out timeline. Like you were taking notes the whole party. I don't believe that. Now, I would have believed it more if she said, I think it was around this time. Like she said, I didn't see Jagger there. I don't believe he was there. I don't think he was there because I didn't see him. There was 300 people there. So you went up to all 300 looking for Jagger? That don't even make sense. Get out of here with that BS. Anyways, I love you, babes. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, I'm still trying to shake this. I'm about to go make my health drink so I could knock this out of me. And I'm going to teach my daughter, my oldest daughter, how to make her own antibiotics for herself. Naturally, that's not going to kill your immune system, okay? So anyways, if you want to know about that, let me know, and I'll probably do one on TikTok for you or something like that. I love you, babes.